Hey, stream. First, here are some corrections from the previous broadcast. I said Anne Hathaway was the White Swan, and she does have that White Swan aesthetic, but it might be Natalie Portman. And then when I remembered it was Natalie Portman who was the White Swan in Black Swan, inverse to Mila Kunis's Black Swan. I look good. Knock on wood. And beyond. I have made the point, though, it is understandable if a person were traveling between alternate dimensions and timelines, and they would ask, "Oh, who is the person who played the lead in Black Swan?" And someone was like, "Natalie Portman." They'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." But if they went to a different timeline or dimension and they asked the question, "Who played the Black Swan?" Who played the lead in Black Swan? And the answer was Anne Hathaway. I do believe that would also make sense, at least to the person who is familiar with traveling between dimensions slash timelines. Also, I did deserve the lumens last time because of my understandings of calculus and gravity. I'm actually doing work with gravity at the moment, so it would make sense that I would become like a goddess of gravity, or that I always was. The reason that I am starting The Last of Us Part 2 again, restarting it, continuing, is because I realized I was not in heaven, and Ellie was not in heaven. Maybe we had reached a point where we could just not take it anymore. However, throughout that endeavor, I did pluck the apple, and I did pull the Excalibur from the stone. I'm not sure if it actually is those things yet. Infamous first light. And I got to take the first bite of the apple. It's kind of like something which was extended to me throughout my life. Most of the times it is not enough, and in the long run it might not be enough, but lifting up the princess, who is me, to the tree to pluck the apple and then offering her the first bite, it might be at least better than that which came before. Or at least it might be more fairy tale like than a lot of the Brothers Grimm's versions of the fairy tales. Oop, my camera went dark. Oh, I see. The light is actually coming from the TV screen now. So I should probably turn on the lights. Wait a second. Oh. The light is coming from me. That's why it did not go completely dark. It might not actually be what happened. but it can be seen as a comparison. Sometimes I'll wake up, and if I were on a schedule back in the day, I would get to it maybe. Potentially snooze. Sometimes I snooze more than other times. But if you have the time, you might just go back to bed, or I have recently, in order to attain more recovery and rest. Based on my broadcast, the comparison, Ellie might have either, walked around the room a little bit, which I did, but then what happens in the time between? It was a long time. She might have went back to bed, at least in multiple timelines, quantum mechanically. And during this time, Ellie had a dream, right? Or she had two. And then there's more, like there's my reality, which was also included. Alright, yes. I was going to turn on the lights, but I feel that it would be better for me to not turn on the light at the moment. I'm kind of cooling down. I was attempting to do recovery and rest, and then during this time I realized sentencing someone to death after they had not, made peace during their lifetime, that's like a sentence worse than death. It reminded me of the story of the Monkey King and how he got trapped under a mountain. In the story, it's cold, but I'm not really bothered by it. In the story, it was initially God who put the Monkey King under the mountain, right? But while I was recovering and resting, I realized, was the mountain actually created by the Monkey King himself? Like people would often say, if you were to die today, could you carry all of your misdeeds? But also, they don't mention, could you even carry all of your deeds? Could you carry yourself? Much less someone like JJ and Dina along with you. The answer is probably not. However, I have the power of multiple timelines, future and past dimensions, and I am the result of this. And I'm gonna stop speaking there for now. There's more to it, but on the one hand, I don't want to be like gypped, and on the other hand, I don't want to be caught as the fool or end up fooling myself. I realize that now. Like, Roman numerals, they're directly derived from Chinese numerals. And pretty much everything in the world. Like, the fall of the Roman Empire, that's entirely wrapped up in the longest fall of like a civilization ever. And then you don't even see it because it's still like kind of falling. But also making gains at the same time. And I'm not even sure I ended up getting recovery and rest. I still have to do it. I still have to attempt to get recovery and rest. I was like smoking. I kept smoking. I did, however, experience Netflix and chill time. I might be more likened to saying Netflix and vibe. But that is like the equivalent, right? Of like the sheeple getting to see the field of reeds. Oh, and I realized I was Goddess, capital G. Though I'm not sure if my I'm not sure if even my reflections and my shadows would kind of accept that. And I understand. Oftentimes, you know, in my experience, I or someone else was the highest in the room, but we're not recognized as such. Well, you see that picture there? It looks like a knight now. A knight and someone who might be like a cultist. They're holding a baby. The knight is handing off the baby to the cultist. Before, when I looked at the picture, it was a person who looked like Ellie and Jesse combined. And they were old. They were an old. They were kind of like, old, happy. And there was Dina and the baby. But now it seems that the person has transformed into a knight and is wearing like some kind of Iron Man steel armor. Yeah, I'm not sure I was in heaven. There was a lot of racism. It could reach someone who was like trapped in a Rapunzel type castle, even. A lot of disease in heaven. My view of the picture is correct, probably, and good enough, but I'll take a closer look. Alright, so when I zoomed in a little bit, it still looked like that happy, older person, but it was more of a stereotype. It was like a less full person. Like maybe the me's of other dimensions we had kind of collected to form like a fuller person earlier, but then like I guess through like a steady departure, the person ends up becoming more of a stereotype, maybe similar to Aziz Ansari. But the window plus the person, it combines to make like a form of armor. Yeah, so maybe I got recovery, maybe I got rest. I ended up getting through some stuff. I guess I started chipping away at that mountain that might have been created out of my life. Not chipping away, it's more like eating the mountain. There's no way of really saying what you're doing with the mountain except through like illusions, right? Ah, I see. Alright, so the picture's directing me to the window. Armor acquired? Also, I looked really pretty when I was in the camera. During my, one second. I actually have to zip up a, you know what? On this time I'm gonna keep it open. There's like a bag in front of the TV I usually zip up, but I'll keep it open this time. Allow it to breathe a little bit. I should get some more primo view of JJ and Dina. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna pee before I get to it. My reflections and shadows, they tend to still be good to me in general. But I watched one of the newer Yu-Gi-Oh movies, and it was like the first time Yugi had to duel without the help of the Pharaoh. And the cards that he was using, they were like the Pharaoh's, right? But they treated him differently. Like they still were like, rather than someone who was like, loyal to the death and like, comrade in arms, they would kind of look and take on like a caretaker role and look at Yugi. It makes me wonder, right? Oh yeah, but I am the most beautiful entity out of my from my high school. I retrieved this victory, I guess, during my or Ellie's dream state. And yeah, I established this in college actually. But I guess, oh yeah, like that's why I had to smoke, I think. Because I used to be in college, I was a smoker basically. That explains that. Alright. I should at least get a view of this side. And I have a plan in place. I'm not sure if it's going to come to fruition, but maybe I'll be able to get to Infamous First Light. I actually have something else. I was going to do like some Marvel's Avengers after this. Maybe. I was visited by like gods, deities. And yesterday I watched Morbius with my parents. Oh, now I'm gonna get a view from this side. Aha, JJ, my boobies. So I guess I got my boobies. Oof. I'm not used to doing that. Alright. Second time's a charm. Another look at Dina and JJ, and then boom. The experience that Ellie had here, it might be likened to that of a siren. A siren's dreams. I might be descended from sirens actually. It fits my family history on my mom's side. I don't have my flashlight. This is my journal. Oh, the old stuff is drawn out. Who's that guy there? He looks like this Austin Kaufman I once knew in college. They were known as a narcissist. Happened again. Got rid of the images pretty quickly, but my skin hurt the rest of the morning. I gave up trying to go back to sleep. Dina stayed up with me. When will this stop? Elliot has not been having the ideal recovery time either, I suppose. Though it might actually be the ideal recovery time, but like, I don't know what that is, potentially, and neither does Ellie. I don't know how Dina talks so easily about Jesse. She tells JJ all about him. She thinks it'd be good for me to talk about Joel, to get it out. When she says that, it makes the memory sound like food poisoning. I don't want to talk about it, it's just gonna hurt. And I think once I'd start, I wouldn't be able to stop. Oh yeah, a similar thing happened with Kelly Clarkson maybe. Potentially me, though I might have more steadiness than Kelly Clarkson, or control. Took JJ on a ride today. He laughed the whole time. I almost didn't think about Seattle all day. It was nice. I see. Ellie's trying to put distance between herself and her past self. I'm not sure that'll be good. Jesse's parents came out today. It was nice at first. They're good people. But then they started pushing for us to move back to Jackson. I couldn't handle it and left for the woods. I didn't come back until late at night. Dina stayed up for me. I could tell she was mad, but she grabbed my hand and led me to bed. I feel so guilty. I see, so that picture, it could have also been Jesse's parents. Hey, 那儿有 taco.
留着你自己吃吧，我自己做点饭就行。
哦，
谢谢。
不客气。It happened again. I was oh, 你真不想吃吗？你可以吃一个手柄。
你花这么多钱买干嘛呀？我真的不想吃。
哦，那就别吃。It happened again. I was hunting this boar, and I cornered it in this old gas station. It was bleeding out, screaming. Sounded like him. Then I couldn't get the images out of my head. I left it there, dying. My skin hurts. I'm gonna have to read that again. It happened again. I was hunting this boar, and I'd cornered it in this old gas station. It was bleeding out, screaming. Sounded like him. Then I couldn't get the images out of my head. I left it there, dying. My skin hurts. Dude, my zodiac animal was the boar. And during my recovery time, it's like, I don't know if it's society or the gods, right? They have this way they can twist a person and make them go against that which is themselves. And then, like, to the point where a person does not even recognize themselves. I kind of reached myself, maybe. I'm not sure I actually reached myself. I might have reached a point where I kind of could see and get a hold, maybe. When does it get quiet? Time was supposed to. And then some crossed outlines are suffocate the anger, suffocate the desire, extinguish the desire. This sounds like Buddhism stuff, but it's the stuff that they teach you. However, It is not the true Buddhism. And I was reminded of that by a lecture I heard recently from Alan Watts. Haunted by your smiles. The mask keeps getting heavier. It's sliding off my face. Ah, her face is melting. But it's crossed out. It literally collapsed in on itself, maybe. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. There's a noose around my neck. Oh yeah, I was thinking about that too. My mom pushed me to do it once. And the further I get, the tighter. It's harder and harder to breathe. Can I find a way to cut the cord rope? Cord rope? I see. Ellie's experience is connected to my experience. I've been waiting for dawn, but the light is all gone. I've lost the light. No. I don't know if I'm already blind. Can I leave it all behind? Ah, she crossed out that she's lost the light. See, this is the darkness, right? But this is actually the true light. The darkness is not gonna die here. Even if it has to. How do I say it? The darkness is the light. Oh, these are some nice photos of Dina and JJ. And when I saw Ellie and Jesse in that picture back there, these things kind of happen, right? Like, there are all these forces and metaphysical and metaphorical things that play all the time around us. But when the hammer starts hitting the nail, like, what is it likened to, right? The picture gets likened to Ellie, who is in the room. The picture, who is the God gets likened to someone like me, except that was during my schooling years. Who would be the God here, right? Maybe it's someone we don't know, someone who is in the Illuminati, one of the super rich. Oh, but as we all know, right? Insert story of the Monkey King here. Insert story of God of War Kratos. Insert story of Buddhism. And I was watching Supernatural recently. Maybe the God is that little baby there, JJ. Or maybe it is the speaker, actually. I should be more serious, potentially. This is a picture of a lamb, a sheep. You see this sheep? It looks so brave. This is not a sheep. And the way that people talk about sheep and how they are like flocked and herded and kind of like slaves. No, you look in the eyes of this sheep and you know that this sheep knows it is not a sheep. Am I supposed to close all the windows? Yes. There are so many minor chords available here. In my musical career, I kind of went major. But maybe that's kind of like, I went light rather than going lower into the minors. And then for the year, ooh, that was different. I was trying to do the same thing I did the first time, but I ended up doing something different. But it also sounded good, but only because the first one was already there. Let's see. What about the E minor? My mom once told me her style is very random. Let's see. I'm not even sure what random is. I've tried to do random recently. It comes out like natural. They call it zheran. Ah, I see. I accidentally entered the transitions states by doing the randomness. Oh, this is not random though. I can keep up with whatever's making these decisions. There's only so much music a person can take, I believe, before they die. Except a lot of people, I believe the music, it's kind of like dying and going to heaven. How do I exit? How do I exit the guitar? Alright, the only way out is through, potentially? Oh, see, there's a marker here. The game wants me to play a certain way. What? What is this? There's no free will here. Ah, I say that kind of jokingly, but there are so many other ways to play. Oh, see, she's finger strumming though. That was impossible for the instrument that I was using. which was the controller. I was classically trained guitar 6 to 7 years.
I hate these things.
Tell me about it.
Your old man really laid into me today.
What happened?
Another big lecture about my patrols. Don't go here, don't go there. It's funny how involved he gets whenever your schedule go well.
Yeah.
She's, but not quite the show.
I think it's 2 weeks until we're together.
Not gonna happen. She, says something.
Make it 1 week.
Ellie! Hey!
What took you so long? Oh, here, right?
Dina?
Jesse.
Hey, don't forget, we're heading out early, so get some rest.
Yes, sir.
Such a dick. Come on. When did you start with me? Okay, I have a very serious question for you. How bad is Beth? Like a pile of garbage? Oh. Okay. Oh. Not bad.
I got it. It was the romance of my younger years.
Maybe they're jealous of me. Just a girl. Not a threat. I think you should be terrified.
I was feeling the same insecurities, actually.
Hey! It's a family event.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Remember next time this kid's around.
Yeah, we're setting such a great example.
Oh, just what this town needs. Another loudmouth dyke.
What the fuck did you just say? Ellie, hey. Don't.
Get your hands off me.
Hey! Enough. You worry about yourself. What is wrong with you?
He had no right.
And you do? I don't need your fucking help, Joel.
Damn.
Hey.
The other day. Yeah. He's fine.
Hold on, I was not able to catch what Dina said there. My mom is making noise in the background. She hates me. She's kind of like that old guy who like hates lesbians. I realized though when he pushed Ellie that like there's no place that is safe for those like me. And that like every heaven that came before was just another reconstruction of hell. But, you know, science, I guess you could say 99%.
You don't owe Tommy anything. I don't like him. I like you, Dina. What? You think this is easy? For you, for him, I deal with it. I've proven it. So I'm just supposed to sit here and wait for you? For God knows how long, just thinking you fucking dead the entire time?
I don't plan on dying.
Yeah, well, neither did Jesse. Or Joel. Hey, stop. Hey. Come on. We've got a family. Just get more than that. I'm not gonna do this again. That's up to you. Check the street a week ago. I really traded a pistol for this. It's a lead. No way that guy saw her as I figured her. Stop. I feel good about this. I don't. Come on.
It's not gonna be on that side. It's all Lena's.
Maybe the gist of what Dina was saying was like, he needs you, like JJ.
So 24, 25 should be that way?
Yeah.
But like, You is out there. Outside.
If the fireflies are still out there, yeah. What do you think they're up to? I don't know. The goal was always to restore society. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to go about it.
Oh, hold on. I have my phone. YouTube is literally recording this, so I can rewind actually. Hold on. I was not able to catch what Dina said there. My mom was making noise in the background. She's kind of like that old guy who hates lesbians. I was not able to catch it, not even in the recording. I realized when he pushed Ellie that there's no place that is safe for those like me. And that every heaven that came before was just another reconstruction of hell. But, science, I guess you would say 99%. I see. Rewatching it, it's a whole different story. Except I still miss the part that I missed before. It's the sounds in the background. And then, alright. I'm like, I'm doing stuff over here. I looked at myself. I was like Venom or Dr. Morbius there. I feel demolished. Gosh, it's like I just killed myself there. Same thing happens every time. I think it's my mom. I'm gonna restart the stream, be right back.